parler de la Suisse. Vous savez, ce petit coin de paradis où je travaille, où je vis. Quand les gens pensent à la Suisse, ils n'ont que des images positives qui leur viennent à l'esprit. Et ils ont raison. Vous me croyez pas? Allez-y, faites l'expérience. Pensez à la Suisse. Avec ses montagnes, son chocolat, ses montres. Vous en avez sûrement déjà entendu parler. Mais il y a plus à découvrir, croyez-moi. Ici, tout tourne comme une horloge. Les trains, jamais en retard. Les montres, une précision chirurgicale. Bon, ok, c'était un peu cliché, j'avoue, mais c'est vrai, vraiment. Et juste un dernier truc, l'humour est très apprécié ici. Ah oui, les gens peuvent sembler sérieux, mais on aime bien rire aussi. C'est juste qu'on a notre propre façon de faire. Mais on pense rarement aux autres aspects qui font de la Suisse ce qu'elle est vraiment. Ici, il y a une très belle diversité culturelle, avec de nombreuses populations, langues et cultures. Ici, les citoyens sont tous égaux et vivent en sécurité. C'est le berceau de nombreuses associations qui œuvrent pour les plus démunis. Comme Caritas, la Croix-Rouge et Mère Teresa, pour ne citer qu'elles. Eh bien, elles sont ici en train de donner de l'espoir et de la nourriture à ceux qui en ont besoin. En plus des 4 langues nationales, l'allemand, le français, l'italien et le romanche, il y a aussi une multitude d'autres langues que vous pouvez entendre dans ces rues. Une multitude de cultures et de religions. C'est comme une grande famille, c'est incroyable. Ah, et il faut que je vous parle de l'Hospice général, là où je travaille. Ça existe depuis 1535. Et depuis, chaque citoyen a le droit à un soutien pour une vie de qualité. Et je trouve que c'est très important d'avoir ça. Parce que je connais personne qui souhaiterait avoir des problèmes dans sa vie. Mais parfois, on ne peut pas les éviter. N'importe qui peut avoir besoin d'un soutien social un jour. Et ça, indépendamment de sa profession. Les médecins, les ingénieurs, les professeurs, les électriciens, tout le monde. Ça ne dépend pas de votre compétence ou de votre intelligence. Il suffit parfois de manquer de chance et vous finissez par avoir besoin d'un soutien social. Ah oui, j'allais oublier de vous parler d'un point très suisse aussi. Dans nos rues, il y a de plus en plus de vélos. Eh oui. Vous pensiez sûrement que les Ferrari et les 4x4 sont ce qu'il y a de plus précieux ici. Eh non. Les vélos sont rois. D'ailleurs, petit conseil, protégez-les avec 2 cadenas, c'est toujours plus sûr. Salut. Ça va? Mon rendez-vous il est déjà là?
Oui, il vous attend.
Parfait, merci. Bonjour Monsieur Sali.
Bonjour monsieur.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien, merci, merci.
On va dans mon bureau? Je vous en prie. C'est juste ici.
Merci.
Asseyez-vous.
Merci.
Alors comment ça va Monsieur Sali?
Ça va bien, merci monsieur.
Alors comment ça a été les cours de français? Ça avance bien?
Ça va, ça avance doucement.
Ah, c'est bien, ça avance bien.
Ça va, j'essaye.
C'est très très bien.
Merci beaucoup.
Du coup, ça a été le rendez-vous pour le permis?
Ça va, ça doit rire 9 heures.
9 heures.
9 heures, oui.
Mais je pense que toutes les chances sont de votre côté. Avec tout ce qui vous est arrivé à Bagdad, ils vont pas refuser. Et vous n'avez pas encore eu de réponse?
Pas encore.
Pas encore.
Oui.
D'accord. Ben, je vais essayer de les appeler, d'accord? Juste 2 secondes, je les appelle.
Oui.
Alors... Oui, bonjour. Bonjour, oui. Bonjour, c'est Monsieur Redja, pareil. Oui, je suis assistant social aux cases de Rive. Bonjour, ouais. Alors, je suis en rendez-vous avec Monsieur Salé et... Oui, exactement. Je voulais savoir, parce qu'il a fait une demande d'un livret N en tant que demandeur d'asile politique. Son numéro de référence, alors c'est le N 73 91 10. Oui, vous pouvez me dire si y a déjà une décision qui a été donnée?
My future depends on this phone call. My life changed radically when my people voted for me in the election and my votes were stolen by the Secret Service. And after the lawsuit I felt, they wanted to kill me, threatened me, tried to corrupt me, blackmail me, until they decided to blow up my car. This is that moment when time stands still. It is very difficult moment for me. That if they refuse my asylum visa, they will send me back to Baghdad and execute me as soon as I get there. I usually wake up before the alarm with anxiety and fear of being cut alive. I look at outside and then I realize that I am in Geneva, a free man. I stay still for a long time at the window until I calm down, enjoying the freedom that my country took from me. The costumes remind me of the day of my master graduation. That same day, the Secret Service came to the faculty's building, arrested me and sent me to the secret prison, where they paid me for 4 weeks until I fell into a coma. After they thought I was dead, they threw me in the garbage, where I was found me some women who took me and saved me. After I recovered from my injuries, I had to leave Baghdad and secretly stay in different provinces of Iraq for a very long time and change my location every 10 days so as not to be found. I walked in fear that I will be caught at any moment. Later, I decided to flee to Turkey in the hope of being free again. Upon arriving there, I went to the Swiss embassy to request political asylum, but I was told that I would have to wait 3 months for an appointment. I remember being in tea house waiting for transaction from a friend of mine. Then the waiter came and started pouring the tea into my cup. In the reflection of the teapot, I noticed two men standing behind me. One of them pulled out a knife. Without hesitation, I took the teapot from the waiter, a hand, and threw it in his face. Immediately, the second person tried to stab me, but I quickly took the bag in which I had all the documentation and managed to divide myself with it, and then quickly ran away from there to the nearby market and hid in the crowd of people. There I realized that the Secret Service was aware of my whereabouts. I eventually decided to flee Turkey as well. It is very difficult when one loses the will to live. When you fall into despair without hope for the future. All my dreams and plans were dashed when I decided to leave Baghdad. I have spent a lot of time hiding these last years. I changed countries, cities, neighborhoods. I had a luxurious life, and I had to leave it all and save my life. After I became undocumented, the only solution left for me was illegal immigration routes. In Istanbul, I found a trafficker to take me to Greece. I went to the meeting place. There were about 70 people there. Most of them were immigrants from Syria who fled the war. The ship we were going to board was not a long-distance passenger ship. It was just a diplomatic ship, at which we all had great difficulty getting on board. On getting into that boat, I began to feel worthless. A man who turns his back on his homeland. We left by boat after sunset, heading west into the unknown. The separation from the continent of Asia made me cry like a child. The more we left, the more I longed for my country. When I knew I was leaving not to return for a long time, maybe never. The farther we got away from the shore and time passed, the more turbulent the sea became. What a strange synchronicity. Even today, every time I get on the ship here in Geneva, it is not that I feel that great pleasure, But I still do it often. I feel like I am fighting that time. That trauma left in my mind. The sea raged badly that night. We didn't think we would survive. The waves hit us on all sides. Some even fell from the boat. What a terrible night. At every moment we expected the overthrow. We saw and waited for death with our eyes. Suddenly, the waves stopped. The sea came down. And as soon as we saw the harbor, we felt like we were born again. I remember how the soldiers started to slow down and informed us that we had to go down into the water quietly for fear that the Greek soldier would hear us. The moment we went down into the water, I had a girl of about 8 years old next to me. I tried to help her, but suddenly a bullet penetrated her chest. It was dark. Other shots started from the machine gun of the Greek soldiers in the direction of the refugees. I had to play dead and slowly swam on my back until I got close to a rock. I stayed for 6 hours without moving from the place until they removed all the corpses from that incident. I still have fresh the feeling of that dark night and that unfortunate child. Staying in Greece has been a terrible experience, a pain and unprecedented suffering. History might have lied to us. Greece has nothing to do with civilization now. However, there I joined another group of Syrian refugees to leave for Czech Republic. Again, of course, through traffickers. After many difficulties, we reached the border with Albania. We had to walk on a big mountain that was very steep. But the Greek border soldiers realized their dogs to follow us, and only a few of us managed to escape. When I entered Albania, I was very afraid, but surprisingly the people were very hospitable in Albania, the same in Kosovo. After many days of traveling through illegal roads, sometimes on foot and sometimes by car, we arrived in Czech Republic. On a road that was in the middle of the nowhere, on abundant forest, near a large dry oak tree. The trafficker informed us that we had arrived at our destination. Shortly, people began to disperse, many of them calling their families, who were waiting to inform them of their whereabouts. I had no choice but to continue walking in that cold January. After walking a little bit, I came back to the same place. I had nowhere to go, no battery in my phone, no money, no food, not even water. So I returned to the same dry oak tree, which strangely resembled death itself. I leaned there. I had no more strength, as if the oak and I shared the same fate, death. Hours passed. The noise stopped. It was very calm. It seemed as if everything stopped. When suddenly I heard the music coming from far away. I gathered strength and started walking in the direction of that music. I could not clearly distinguish whether it was real music or hallucination. After taking a few steps, I noticed a bar that was far away, and surprisingly, the more I walked towards it, the further it got away from me. After a while I arrived there. It was warm. I only asked the people there for a piece of bread in exchange for some work where I could help them. At first, they hesitated. Then they allowed me to spend the night there. After the bar closed and when everyone left, I analyzed the roadmaps, downloaded them so that the next day I would use them, heading to Switzerland, which seemed very, very far from there. Since I had no money in my pocket, I had to make difficult decisions about the next battle, where I had 360 kilometers of unknown road ahead of me. The hardest thing in that battle was taking the first step. I gathered my strength, the little I had left, and started walking. I walked a lot. I passed so many hills, mountains, and rivers that for a moment they all got mixed up. I didn't know where I was, as if it was a loop. The people I met on the road, as soon as they saw me run away and didn't talk to me, they thought I was some kind of figure or something, and without having the opportunity to explain myself and tell them how things were, I had no choice but keep walking. Days passed, nights passed. Eventually, I decided to ask for help. I had no more strength left. In a place with a small house, I decided to knock on one of them as I was dying of thirst, hunger, and cold. An elderly couple opened the door and invited me inside. Upon entering that house, I realized that I had arrived in Kreuzlingen, Switzerland. I only asked them for some water and to warm up a little.
Monsieur Sally.
But as soon as I approached the fireplace, I fell asleep. I slept for 5 hours without moving, and when I finally opened my eyes, sitting next to me was the couple with tears in...
Monsieur Sally.
Oui, oui.
J'ai une bonne nouvelle pour vous. Ils ont accepté votre visa. Vous allez le recevoir dans la semaine.
Oh, merci. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Bravo à vous.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
J'ai rien fait, bravo à vous.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Bravo.
Bravo. Merci.
Bravo. Ça va?
Très bien.
Il faut juste qu'on remplisse un document ensemble, d'accord?
D'accord. Merci beaucoup.
C'est génial. Du coup, maintenant, ce qu'il faudra voir, c'est remplir. Rien ne me rend plus heureux que de voir un sourire et l'espoir renaître chez quelqu'un que nous avons pu aider. Beaucoup de gens portent des jugements hâtifs sur ceux qui traversent des périodes difficiles, sans prendre en compte qu'eux-mêmes pourraient un jour se trouver dans la même situation. Même si je garde le sourire tout le temps, le métier d'assistant social n'est pas simple. Surtout quand chaque individu en face de vous a perdu tout espoir et compte sur vous comme ultime recours, voire comme leur dernière lueur d'espoir. Heureusement, il y a de nombreux cas où, quelques mois à peine après leur passage dans le système d'assistance, ces mêmes individus trouvent un emploi, se remettent sur pied, voire même lancent des entreprises. Personnellement, il m'est parfois difficile de faire face à des personnes comme Sahil. Des personnes qui ont tout perdu, qui se retrouvent sans rien, alors que c'était un professeur et un homme politique, et qui, pour des raisons politiques, doit tout quitter et se trouve contraint à demander de l'aide. Cette personne se retrouve démunie. Pour moi, la richesse d'une personne n'est pas définie par son revenu, mais par sa culture.
Merci beaucoup.
Ouais, merci à vous.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
On se voit la semaine prochaine.
Je vais là.
Allez, au revoir.
Au revoir.
I am very grateful to Switzerland for the warm hospitality and solidarity offered me when I needed. Your country, Switzerland, has kindly opened its arms and accepted my request for political asylum, thus giving me the opportunity to rebuild my life in a safe and welcoming environment. Thanks to your support, I can see a better future where I can contribute positively to society and honor the trust you have placed in me. As I look to the future with hope, I will never forget the humanitarian act that was offered to me here. Thank you, Switzerland, for your warm hospitality, your protection, and your sensitivity